What's going on YouTube? Today I'm going to give my brutally honest review for the for the Google Pixel 6 Pro in 2022. Now, I'm not going to trash this device because the device itself is not trash. This is a great device, honestly, especially for those of you that like pure Android or stock Android or vanilla Android, however you like to say it. It's a great device. Is it great for me? I have to say no. Not for me. You know, I prefer something with a lot more features and a lot more customization, which this does not provide me. But I'm going to be brutally honest about the things that I like and the things that I don't like. So, first, I'm going to get into all the pros and cons. Then I'll give you my conclusion, and then I will be done. All right, so let's get started. All right. So I'm going to start with the pros. I like to start with the positive things about a device. First thing is the design. I absolutely love the design of this device. I mean, I love it. It's beautiful. It's the best looking Pixel phone that Google has ever made, period. And I love how they went with the boxy shape and little curved edges. So it doesn't really poke you like my Note 20 Ultra does, but it's like rounded at the edges. But I love this boxy shape. I just love the craftsmanship of this. You know, the way they did the camera bar. I don't care about this blending in like some people be getting so super extra about. I just love the design. Like when you take a look at the 4XL, you can see that this is the Pixel 6 Pro is a lot more appealing to look at than the 4XL. The 4XL, it's got excellent build quality. It has a frosted back, but it's blah. It's just, but this has personality. So the first thing I love about the Pixel 6 Pro is the design. It's a absolutely beautifully designed device. Next thing is the build quality. Excellent. Gorilla Glass Victus on the front and the back. No issues with that. Now, I normally use a case on all my devices, so I don't worry too much about getting my devices damaged because I always use cases. But if you decide not to use a case, you will enjoy the way this feels in your hand. And rest assured, like, I mean, if you drop this on cement, you're going to get some damage. I mean, you just got to be careful where you drop it. Okay, you drop it on a wood floor, you'll probably be all right. But if you drop it on a really hard substance, you could possibly crack it and break it. So just keep that in mind. Gorilla Glass Victus is good. But my advice is to use a case unless you're somewhere where you know if you drop it, you ain't got to worry about it shattering. But I do like the build quality of this device. I love it a lot. It's really nice. Next, now, I like the always on display, and I think mainly I would say I like the fact that it has an always on display. But this is also a thing that I don't like, and I'll get into why when I get into all the things that I don't like about the device. Next, the fingerprint sensor. Now, I know when this device was first released, there was a lot of issues with this fingerprint sensor. It was working some of the time, wasn't working enough. People were frustrated. They turned it off. They just put in their code. There was a lot of issues with this fingerprint sensor. But let me rest assured to let you know right now, for those of you that are still on the fence and you're thinking about getting this or you're thinking about going to the 7 Pro, look, the fingerprint sensor has been fixed, okay? However many updates they put on this, they fixed it, okay? Let me just show you real quick. Now, I usually don't use the Pixel launcher because of some issues that I don't like, and I used to just tap and turn the screen out, but I'm not using it at the moment, so I just got to hit the power button. But I want to show you. It's just tap now. See that? It's literally tap. There's no tapping and holding the fingerprint sensor. That's all I'm doing is tapping it, and it's opening right up. No problem. Unless I go too fast. Oh, I think I'm okay. There we go. Just got to press firmly. But it's really a tap, honestly. Yeah, you just got to put a little teeny pressure when you press it. You don't want to like literally tap tap. You just want to add just a slight bit of pressure so it get the ridges in your finger. But the fingerprint sensor has been fixed on this device. So the fingerprint sensor is no issue at all. Not for me. None whatsoever. Next, the battery life. Now it comes with a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. And I will say this, the battery life on this phone is great. Easily a day and a half. And that's with max brightness. That's with the always on display on all the time. That's moderate to heavy usage. For me, I'm getting a day and a half. So that's great. Okay? So I have no issue with the battery life. But I can't speak for the kind of battery life you get because everybody uses their device differently. I barely ever use the camera. So I'm not shooting 4K video or anything like that. I don't use the GPS that much. I'm mostly media content, things of that sort. Getting all my notifications in the real time, 100% brightness, always on display. Stuff like that. Mostly YouTube, surfing the net. Sometimes I use Spotify, but that's pretty much it. So it depends on really how you use your device. So if you're the type of person that uses the camera heavily, you like to blog, you like to shoot a lot of 4K video, your battery usage is going to vary. But for me, it's been great. Next, let's talk about RAM management. Excuse me. So you're getting 12 gigs of RAM, which is nice, especially for that price point. And the RAM management on here is very, very good. I have no issues with the RAM management. So 12 gigs of RAM management is very good. Next thing that's a pro is IP68 water and dust resistant. So no issues worrying about if the phone gets, damaged by water. No issues at all. It's going to be good for 5 feet, 30 minutes underwater. No problems at all. So I love the fact that it's IP68 water and dust resistant. Next, the dual stereo speakers. Now, these speakers don't blow me away, but they're good. They're not bad, but when you have devices like, let me show you what I mean. When you have devices like this is my ROG 5, these speakers will blow your head off. I'm telling you, these speakers are amazing. 2 built-in amplifiers. These will blow your head off. So, but for the average user that, and if you're a type of person, most of the time you use headphones, these speakers are going to be good for you. But I got phones like my Z Fold 2 and my, let me see, even my OnePlus 8 Pro has, to me, the speakers sound better. Of course, my Redmi Note 11 Pro, blow these away, JBL speakers. My LG V60, blow these speakers away. Even my Note 20 Ultra speakers are better than these. But these are not bad. They're good. They're not great, in my opinion. They're good. But I do like them because they sound good. They don't sound great, but they sound good. Next, you got the voice to text. Now, that thing is very, very accurate. And the thing about it that's so cool is that, you could say emoji, smiley face. You could say send. It'll send. That's cool. That voice to text is pretty cool. Especially if you don't want to if you got to do a real long text, instead of that, just use your voice. If you're able to, if you're in a situation where you can. But the voice to text is the real deal. That's great on this device. Next is the performance. So, of course, Google decided to finally go with their own processor. So they used their first ever Google Tensor chip. And I will say this, I don't know if it's any different or better. To me, it's not any real difference or better than the Snapdragon chipsets like in the 4XL. It's just as smooth and, responsive. But I will say this thing is buttery smooth. Now, I haven't been using the Google, launcher because I can't. There's certain things they restrict me from doing certain things, and I can't have that. I just can't have it. But if you do decide to use the Google Launcher, this is very, very smooth. You're going to get a different experience if you use Nova Launcher. As far as animation, the smoothness is going to be slightly different. But I will say, if you use the Google Pixel Launcher, you're gonna get great performance. Not that I get bad performance with Nova Launcher, but it's just different, and the animations are different. It's gonna look a lot smoother with the Pixel Launcher, so keep that in mind. And the last thing, which is a pro, is the cameras. The cameras on this device are incredible. I mean, to me, they're not better than my Mi 11 Ultra, but they're right up there with, I would say, my Note 20 Ultra. But these are good. Like for point and shoot, if you're the type of person that, you don't need pro mode because this doesn't have pro mode, but if you're the type of just boom, point and shoot, these are some of the best cameras on the market, by far. Seriously, these cameras are excellent. Now, I took some night photos that looked okay. Not great, like they're bragging about how the night sight on here is not bad, but they didn't blow me away. But they're good. But I would say the daytime pictures, you get a decent light, they're good. And when you zoom in, still good, nice and clear and sharp. But that's my opinion. Just let me show you some photo examples, and you judge for yourself what you think. All right, so now let me get to the cons of this device. First con is the button placement. The button placement on this device is absolutely horrendous. It's terrible. Power button is way up here and your volume rockers are down here. The power button should be nice and low where you can easily get to it. Most people are going to be using the power button a lot more than they're using the volume rocker. So the button placement on this device is terrible. Google, please change the configuration of these buttons on your devices. They're horrible. Don't move them down. No, switch them. Put the power button underneath the volume rockers. This is terrible button placement and I absolutely hate it. But when I use Nova Launcher, all I do is double tap the screen to turn the screen off, as opposed to keep constantly hitting the volume buttons, because that's what I do all the time. I'm constantly hitting the volume button, so I absolutely hate the button placement. It's terrible. Next, no face unlock. Now that was just a dumb decision by Google to remove face unlock. Face unlock was on the 4XL. Why would you remove it for the 6 Pro? I mean, what's pro about taking away face unlock? Face unlock is a basic feature. Like, you took away the fingerprint sensor, gave us face unlock. Then with this one, you take away face unlock, give us a fingerprint sensor. Why can't we have both? I mean, seriously? There's absolutely no reason for this phone not to have face unlock. And that's a software thing. I really believe there's a way they could actually add face unlock to this through the software if they wanted to. But they're probably not going to. But that's pathetic. And that's inexcusable not to have face unlock. Is it super secure? It ain't about security. It's about convenience. For those of you that want to write in there, oh, face unlock is not that secure. It ain't, and it's not about that. I don't care if it's iPhone secure. I just want it on here as an option along with the fingerprint sensor. And the thing about it, they could make it secure on here, because on here I could actually use it with my banking app. So why not put the sensor that's in here and the security in here into this? It makes no sense. And then they put it on the 7 Pro, but it's still not secure on that. Why would you make it secure for the 4XL but make it not secure for the future devices? It makes no sense. And then I hear with the 7 Pro now, I don't know if this is everybody's experience, that in low light you can't even use it. It's unusable. So Google, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know. I don't understand why you just can't make just quality with everything that you're doing. Make it top quality, especially when you're charging almost $1,000 for this device. It just makes no sense to me. Next, the always on display is not customizable. It's not. And I don't like that. It makes no sense. Google made or makes or invented or whatever Android. Google invented Android. It's their operating system. And you mean to tell me I can't customize my always on display? I mean, seriously? I got to look at this same thing every time, and everybody else that uses it, all there's going to look all the same. I don't like that. I don't like that at all, and that's inexcusable. There's no way we should not be able to customize an always on display. This is ridiculous. Everything is white, one color, and you can't change anything. I don't like that at all. Next, now I got to turn the phone on for this one. You cannot customize this home screen. Now, you could change how many apps you put on the screen, but look how big they are. I don't like my apps this big. I like my apps small. Let me show you how they look on the 4XL. You see that? Now I'm using Nova Launcher. That's the way I want my apps on my home screen. I want them small and I want them laid out like this. You can't do that with the 6 Pro. Let me tell you else what really irritates me about this home screen. You cannot get rid of this bar here, this Google bar. I don't want this on my home screen. I don't want it. You know, I know Flossie Carter said he likes it at the top. You can't move it and you can't get rid of it. It just says preferences. No, my preference is to delete it. I don't want it. But you cannot get rid of this and you can't move it. That's stupid. Next thing is the weather widget and the time. You can't get rid of that either. You press and hold this, you can't remove it. It just says customized. I don't want to customize it. I don't want it. I want to use my own. So I don't like the fact that you can't even customize your home screen. That's just stupid, especially for this being Android. Android is supposed to be customizable in every way, and Google will not allow you to do it. I don't like that. It almost feels like an Apple device, and I don't like that. So I'm getting rid of this. I'm going back to my Nova launcher, which I use all the time. I can't stand the Pixel launcher. Just can't stand it. Going right back to Nova. See, this is the way I want my layout. I want to use my own time and weather widget, and I want my apps laid out like this. I don't care about the Google feed being on the left. I don't read it that much anyway. That's not a big deal for me. But this is the way I want my stuff laid out. This is what I want. And just keep on scrolling back and forth. This is the way I want my phone set up. So and I don't like that one-handed mode either that you just saw. I don't like that either. All right, next. Now, this also has to do with not the always on display, but check this out. So say I'm not using the fingerprint sensor. I decide I want to put in my PIN. I could put in my PIN, and I have to press this arrow every time to open up to the home display. I just can't put the numbers in and it automatically opens up the phone and go to my home screen. That's just stupid. Samsung gives you the option whether you want to go in, once you put your code in, it'll open the phone right up. You can't do that with this 6 Pro, and I don't like that. That's just stupid. Makes no sense to me. That's another thing I don't like. Can't even change that. Next, the battery charging speeds on this device is horrendous. They say 30-watt fast charging. That's a lie. That's not true. That's not true. It takes almost 2 hours to fully charge this device from 0 to 100%. Seriously, it's horrendous. An hour and 52 minutes. It's ridiculous. I have my LG V60 has a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, and that charges faster than this. And that's 25 watt charging, I think. Hour and 42 minutes. This is an hour and 52 minutes. It's ridiculous. The wireless charging is super slow. That's well over 2 hours. More like 2 hours and 40 something minutes. And then the reverse wireless charging, it's a joke. I don't even know why they even put it on here. So the battery charging speeds on this device are horrendous. They're terrible, and I don't like them at all. If you think this is the kind of phone you could wait till the morning and you get up and charge it, think again. Unless you got 2 or 3 hours, before you leave to go to work. Unless you get up that early where you give yourself that much time and you want to charge this in the morning. Other than that, you can forget about it. This is not a fast charging device. And that doesn't make any sense, for this device that came out in 2021 and it still charges this slow. That 30-watt fast charging is a joke, and it's a lie. This thing does not charge 30 watts fast. It just does not. They need to step up the game. And then they didn't make any improvements with the 7 Pro. It charges the same speed. Like, I don't understand what Google is doing. I guess they don't really care that much about making this phone a real big seller. I guess they don't really care because they don't really make the kind of improvements that they should. Next, the limited adjustments to the display. Now, what I mean by that, say you go into the settings, right? And you go into your display and you could choose 1080p full HD plus 720p or quad HD. You don't even get the option. It's just quad HD all the time. Now, how do I really know it's quad HD? It really could be 1080p. It could be 1080p full HD and not quad HD because I don't have any options that show me the difference. So I basically got to take their word for it that I'm using a quad HD plus resolution on this device. You can't even see that. It don't even show you that when you go into display. All it shows is that you could boost it, you could do adaptive, or you could do something else. That's it. It doesn't say whether it's Quad HD Plus, whether you could scale down to 1080p, you could scale down to 20. You only get whatever choice they give you, and you don't know for sure if it really is Quad HD. Now, it is a beautiful display. Don't get me wrong. It is a beautiful display, but I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And the last thing, not enough features or customization for me. It's just not. Like for me to get this home screen the way I want it, I had to put in Nova Launcher because I don't want the Google bar at the bottom, and I don't want things on my home screen that I can't change. I want smaller widgets, and I want more widgets that are just two rows. I don't want these big giant icons on my display. I don't want that. This is the way I want my display. Now with my Samsung, I got everything in folders, a little different, but sometimes I like to have things spread out. But this is the way I like my home screen to look. And I don't like where Google tries to force me to use a Google bar and use their weather and time app that I don't want to use. So for me, this is just not my type of device. It's just not customizable enough, and it lacks a lot of features. And for me, it's just boring. There's no excitement with me using this device. The cameras are great, don't get me wrong, but that's it. There's no excitement with me in this phone. Now I know you got the voice to text, that's cool. You got some other Google features in here that'll probably be cool for people that's in the stock Android. I've never been in the stock Android. Stock Android has always been flat boring to me. And people, how they always, oh, I want a stock feel, and I want more vanilla. You can have stock Android. I hate it. It's boring. It does nothing for me. There's no excitement whatsoever. I'm sure this phone, when you go into the settings, you go up here, get to know your Pixel, excuse me, you do have some things in here, smart features and things that you have, but this stuff I don't care about this stuff. Like translating my messages from another language, like I'm never going to use that. Navigation, no big deal to me. The essentials, what's this? Match your app icons to your wallpaper style. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to use that, so I don't care about that. All of these things in here that they have in here, recording audio, take notes, all this stuff in here, they're worthless to me. I'm not going to use them. So it's just not my type of device. Now, I'm not hating on anybody that loves this device. I think it's a great device for those of you that are into pure Android, stock Android. This is going to be the perfect device for you, but that's just not me. This is just not my style. Like my Mi 11 Ultra IR blaster, I can control my TV, my microwave, not my microwave, but my air conditioner, my water heater. That's something that's cool. The fact that I can charge it from 0 to 100 in 36 minutes. Wireless charging, charge my 5,000 milliamp hour battery from 0 in 39 minutes. 10-watt reverse wireless charging. Awesome cameras with tons and tons and tons of modes on them, which just has very limited modes on the camera. 120 times zoom. I mean, that is an exciting phone to me. Let me show you real quick. And I'm not trying to make a comparison, but then you got this secondary display. Come on now. And look, the power button is where it should be. You get this nice always on display. You get this nice animation when you hit your fingerprint sensor. This has actually better speakers and a better display. But that's just me, y'all. Like I said, I'm not trying to hate on a device, but it just doesn't cut it for me. It's just not my type of device. But in my conclusion, I do recommend this device. Like I said, to those of you that are in the stock Android, pure vanilla Android. And the thing about it, this is a great device. And what I mean by that, let me tell you the reason why I recommend this device. If you like I said, if you want that pure stock Android vanilla experience, if you want great battery life, you're going to get it. If you want a great design, you're going to get it. If you want great build quality, you're going to get it with this device. If you want a great display, you're going to get it with this device. If you want great performance, you're going to get it with this device. And also, if you want great cameras, you're going to get it with this device. So I hope you stuck around to hear my final conclusion on this device. And like I said, it's just not for me. But is it a great device? Yes, for those reasons that I gave you. And maybe those essential tips for the phone and Magic Eraser. Now, my Note 20 has a Magic Eraser too. This is not the only phone that has Magic Eraser. And I erased something. I actually tried it, and it actually worked it really, really great. So this is not the only phone that has Magic Eraser. It's just not. So that commercial, they're saying, oh, our phone can do something that others can't. It could, erase people in the background. That's not true. Samsung's do it too. Now, I don't know about the other devices, but I know that Samsung has it also. So that's my final conclusion on the Google Pixel 6 Pro. It's a great device. It's just not for me. So thank you all for taking the time to view this content. I do appreciate it. If you like the content, please hit that thumbs up and hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when I drop more content. And I appreciate it. Also, if you'd like to support the video or support the channel, I should say, please press that thanks button and donate to the channel if you want to support the channel. It's up to you. All right, you guys, take care. Thank you for taking the time to view this content. I do appreciate it. And I hope you guys are staying safe and staying well. And I'll check you guys out in the next one. Peace.